Chapter 4 Autumn Festival in Willow Ridge. The first hints of autumn colored Willow Ridge in shades of amber, gold, and crimson. Miriam Lapp stepped out of her small farmhouse at dawn, the crisp air carrying the scent of fallen leaves and earth preparing for the cooler days ahead. Her breath formed small clouds in front of her face, and the soft rustling of leaves underfoot made the morning feel alive with gentle energy. She carried a basket to collect squash and pumpkins ripening at the edge of the garden. The sun had just risen, scattering its light across the fields, glinting off dew on the plants. Miriam's hands brushed against the smooth orange surfaces of the pumpkins and the green leaves curling around them. The tactile rhythm of gathering the harvest grounded her, and she felt a steady joy in the labor of her hands. After filling her basket, she stacked firewood near the kitchen door and swept the porch. These small, ordinary tasks reminded her of the steady heartbeat of Willow Ridge, and she reveled in the sense of accomplishment that followed each completed chore. By mid-morning, Miriam set out for the main path leading to the village center. Today, the town was preparing for the annual autumn festival, a time when neighbors and friends came together to celebrate the harvest, exchange homemade goods, and enjoy simple music and games. Children ran along the roads, carrying small baskets to collect leaves, chestnuts, and walnuts. The laughter echoed across the fields, mingling with the crisp autumn breeze. On her way, Miriam passed a neighbor, Mrs. Keller, struggling with a wheelbarrow full of corn husks. "Good morning, Mrs. Keller," Miriam called cheerfully. "Oh, Miriam. Just the help I need," Mrs. Keller replied. "Would you mind lending a hand? These husks are too heavy for me alone." "Of course," Miriam said, kneeling to secure the load. Together they maneuvered the wheelbarrow toward the barn, chatting about the festival preparations. Mrs. Keller explained how she would weave the husks into small decorations, and Miriam offered to help set them aside for drying. It was these small acts of cooperation, Miriam thought, that made Willow Ridge a true community. Each person contributed their skill, their care, and their time, and in doing so, built bonds that strengthened with every season. Arriving at the festival grounds, Miriam saw Aaron already helping set up wooden stalls for baked goods and crafts. He was lifting boards with ease, guiding younger helpers as they assembled the framework. "Good morning, Miriam," he called, a broad smile lighting his face. "Would you like to help with the decorations? I could use an extra hand." "I'd be glad to," Miriam said, carrying a basket filled with dried corn husks and small gourds. They worked together to adorn the stalls with bright autumn colors. Miriam carefully arranged bundles of husks, while Aaron placed pumpkins and squashes along the edges. Children scampered around them, collecting fallen leaves and laughing at their own small discoveries. Aaron lifted a small wooden sign, and Miriam steadied it while he nailed it securely to the post. "It looks wonderful," Miriam said, stepping back to admire the colors and textures. Aaron nodded. "The festival will be brighter because of all this care. People notice the small touches, they make the place feel alive." Miriam smiled, feeling warmth spread through her chest. She had come to enjoy these shared moments, not just for the tasks themselves, but for the quiet companionship and sense of purpose that came with helping others. Meanwhile, the Yoders had also arrived to contribute to the preparations. Hannah and Miriam worked side by side at a baking stall, rolling dough for pies and arranging pastries to catch the morning sunlight. Samuel helped set up tables for crafts, and little Eli ran back and forth, delivering small baskets of apples and nuts to eager children. "This is so exciting," Eli exclaimed, bouncing on the balls of his feet. "I get to help everyone." Hannah laughed. "You are very helpful, Eli. Just make sure not to spill anything." Miriam knelt beside Eli, showing him how to carry a small basket carefully. "Steady, now. The apples are heavy for such little hands." Eli concentrated, his small fingers gripping the basket tightly, and managed to carry it to the table without incident. Miriam clapped lightly. "Well done. That's perfect." As they worked, Miriam noticed the growing sense of anticipation in the town. Stalls were being decorated, baked goods were stacked, and children practiced simple songs to perform later. Willow Ridge, with its rolling fields and quiet streets, had transformed into a lively festival ground filled with the energy of friendship and community. In the afternoon, games and contests began. Children raced to gather acorns, while adults demonstrated skills like rope tossing and pumpkin rolling. Miriam joined in with some of the older children, helping them line up for a sack race. Laughter and cheers filled the air as the races commenced, and Miriam felt a lightness of spirit that came from shared joy and camaraderie. Aaron helped oversee the games, guiding children and encouraging them with gentle words. When a basket of acorns tipped over, Miriam and Aaron worked together to gather them again, laughing at the minor mishap. Every year this festival feels more lively than the last, Miriam remarked, brushing leaves from her apron. Aaron nodded. It's the people. The community brings it to life. Each small effort, each smile, together they make something beautiful. Miriam glanced around at the bustling festival, seeing neighbors chatting, children playing, and families working side by side. She realized he was right. Willow Ridge's strength lay not just in its fields or homes, but in the hearts of those who lived there. As the afternoon faded, Hannah and Miriam led a group of children in a small craft workshop. They taught the children to braid corn husks into tiny dolls, explaining the tradition and encouraging creativity. Eli proudly displayed his first attempt, and the other children clapped, their laughter blending with the soft strumming of a fiddle from a nearby musician. Miriam observed the scene with quiet satisfaction. The day had been filled with work, laughter, learning, and connection. Each person's contribution, big or small, added to the sense of belonging she had begun to feel. She was learning that life in Willow Ridge was not only about tending the land or completing chores, but about nurturing relationships, sharing joy, and offering kindness wherever it was needed. Evening descended, and the festival wound down. Lanterns were lit, casting a soft glow over the fields and stalls. Families gathered their goods, children carried small prizes, and the smell of fresh pies and bread lingered in the air. Miriam and Aaron walked together along the ridge, looking down at the festival grounds below. It's been a wonderful day, Miriam said softly. Everything came together so beautifully. Aaron smiled, his gaze thoughtful. It has. And it reminds us why we do all the small work, the chores, the planting, the preparation. It's all for days like this. Miriam nodded. And for the people. The friendships, the laughter, the kindness. That's what matters most. As the stars began to twinkle above, Miriam felt a quiet sense of peace. Willow Ridge was more than a home, it was a place where hearts could grow, friendships could strengthen, and each day held new opportunities to care, to learn, and to belong. Returning home, she helped her parents finish the evening chores, then stepped outside one last time to breathe in the crisp night air. The festival lights had dimmed, and the fields were quiet once more. She gazed at the stars and thought of the people she had worked with and laughed with today. Gratitude filled her heart, and a gentle hope for the days to come settled in her chest. Miriam knew that life in Willow Ridge, with its rhythm, kindness, and shared purpose, was exactly where she belonged. She was home, surrounded by community, nature, and the quiet promise of tomorrow.